2. Why do I got to do it this time? I don't want to do... All right, fine. Green Room. Dude, episode 7? Episode 7. Holy sh... Episode 7, Green Room. February
episode
10th,
7.
2021. Dude.
What?
7.
7.
That's 4. No, 7.
7's a great number. I love that number.
Which you know that means is after this, it's episode 8. I'm telling you.
That's right.
Yeah.
If anybody's been following, they are not matched up.
I'm hoping that we've been expressing that, you know, hey, the Green Room is the precursor to I'm Telling You. So, and because we decided to do this one show after I'm Telling You, it goes I'm Telling You episode 1, Green Room episode 1, and then it starts to flip-flop again by going I'm Telling You 2, Green Room 2, I'm Telling You 3. So I'm Telling You comes first, and you just go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and just keep going like that. At least for now, right? Who knows? At some point, maybe the Green Room gets additional. Maybe it gets its own show. I don't know. It's not for me to decide, right? We don't get this. It's not for us anymore. It's now beyond us, I guess. That's a good thing.
Well, that's the plan anyway.
Well, but we have. So you and I had this conversation.
It's gonna be us, but it's
so first episode you had your
bigger than us.
It is, because first episode you had your transcendent moment on mic. It was beautiful. I was a part of it. It was blessing, right? You and I had this conversation where I allowed my younger to listen to that part where you were touched in episode 1, which was about, you know, a 15 to 20 minute segment between the actual speech, us talking about it afterwards, you know, a minute or two leading into it or something like that, but somewhere around like 15, 20 minutes at best. Her and I listened to that.
My tirade and then
something more, your emotional expression, your artistic outlet. Yeah. Episode 1, Charlie Chaplin speech. Go ahead, check it. Look it up now. It's a beautiful thing. But her and I listening, about 20 minutes of that, and she starts to bawl and grips me up to the point that I'm like, okay, I have to pause it. We got to talk about this. We proceeded to discuss for another 30 minutes, and she thanked you and I for doing this and expressed that even if it's just for the few people that are listening now, we have to keep doing this. So that in and of itself right there, from the mouth of babes, this is bigger than us already.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear.
Say it louder and prouder. It's always nice to hear. Go ahead.
That's always nice to hear. I mean,
I know you have this issue about I know you're trying to build.
I wear
that
my
confidence.
heart on my sleeve, and you can hear it right through my voice. It's just, I'm sorry. It's just
you're very readable. Don't play cards. Just saying.
Anyhow,
this man cannot lie. Trust me. You read them instantly.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
Especially when you got kids. They call him bluff. They are so smarter than him. It's adorable. I love it. Yeah, but it's cute. You're supposed to be.
Kids can see right through me.
That's because you let it happen. It's all right. It's a good thing because they still respect you. They still love you. All right? There's only right ways to raise a child if you're giving them appropriate love, education, respect, appreciation, right? As long as you're being good to them, that's all that matters. You can only raise a child right in that fashion.
Amen.
Thank you.
So,
hey, what up, bro? How you doing?
Doing well.
Green Room. This is where we get to be silly. Oh yeah, dude. Oh.
So I don't know.
Yo, so all right. So check this out. He's pulled out another book. Go figure, nerd.
Yeah, well, another one that I'm writing. This is my notebook.
Well, I know this is actually this is a notebook though. This isn't a tech. This is no longer 1950s textbooks.
I'm telling you, notes book. Literally.
Notes. Oh, it's
notes
adorable.
book.
So it's like leather bound. It's got like the massive straps so you can like wrap it around. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein. Yeah, it's on the cover. Literally, like it's leather bound, so it's burned into it. Yeah. It looks burned into it. It's probably a reproduction, but yeah, no, this thing's got notes, bro. See, you would hope we literally listen to what we're doing. We take notes. We recheck. We come back. We readdress. This is for real. Like we want to come correct. We want to be appropriate. We want to provide an appropriate service for our community, right? What do you got? Go ahead, say it. Do it.
An empiric was a member of an ancient sect of doctors who practiced medicine based exclusively on experience as contrasted with theory or philosophy.
Oh, we're going back to this empirical thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, see, you were... Apparently this is a thing for you. That's cool.
You know, that really... Oh.
Yeah, I know. That got you, dude.
I'm not even going to go there anymore.
It's a hot button.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't take it. So I had to look it up. But yeah, anyway, so I started back with episode 1 and just started taking notes in this book. So it'll be neat to have things to reference to. And I was actually looking earlier, I was trying to look back through here to see, because I asked you a question. While I was listening, I wrote a question for you.
Oh, in the notes.
Yeah, and I think I
Okay.
may have done that a couple times.
Nice.
But, well, anyway, I can't just spend the whole time looking through a book, so...
Why not? Who gives a crap? This is the green room. We don't give... This is the tree of trust as we come into it. We can be silly. We can be goofy. Dude, he's got water tower in here. What the... Yeah, dude, no. Well,
that was our... Yeah.
Well, so, yeah, we had a conversation. Yeah, we talk outside of the booth. Yeah, we're like super adorable BFFs. Yeah, we hold hands sometimes and like play on the swings and stuff.
Yeah, like if you...
I hug trees and things.
If you go for the piece of paper, you get the piece of paper. If you want the knowledge...
Oh yeah, the whole
conversation,
yeah,
like all the So I just put it all.
So we were talking on the phone, and he's actually writing down the notes as he's going back over it. I have been listening again and again and again, and like literally cataloging this information into my brain, kind of like an Excel spreadsheet, just like propagating these different cells, just putting stuff in there, so that as I go back through and I'm ready to sit down and start to write out my notes, I'm not just looking to listen at the moment. I'm looking to actually start to make those connections and see the patterns, so that I can get a true representation of like what we're doing, so that one, when we re-express the information, we're coming correct. But also making sure that we're keeping this light and enjoyable, and I want to make sure we're having fun doing this. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, it's.
I can't find my question to you.
Oh, you can't.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not going far back enough. I don't know.
Maybe you should have like an asterisk. I usually do that in my notes. I make make a nice big fat asterisk next to it, so it's just like graffiti style. Here's a good example. Oh, hammer time. Sorry. It's green room. We're allowed.
So I'm going to try to go back to the conversation we were having, where I said, "Isn't everybody really deeply questioning reality?" How long have you felt this way? Remember how we were having that? That was a way long time ago.
Right.
And then we were talking about the karmic wheel. Right? What is it going to be this time? You brought up your video game construct.
Yeah, well, you basically get to choose, where it's not even like... Yeah, so it's not even like, you sucked in the previous life and you got to come back and rectify it. It's you just like, you came out and you're like, all right, that didn't work for me. Maybe I'm just going to lower my standards and try again. You're like setting it from like, advanced to like slowly down to beginner. And then you like, all right, I'm going to start out as just a cockroach and see what I can do. I don't know.
You made the mention of everybody else could be watching over your shoulder, like laughing, like ha ha ha.
Oh yeah, like the
you're
Pizza
at
Hut console. Yeah, the Pizza Hut console. So they're like literally looking down as it, like it's a Tron style game. Yeah.
And like this is just an example. Like I just put in there like a question to you. Like Soul Group is watching. Shouldn't the Soul Group be in there with you, or like how does that?
Well, because all right, so this goes to the idea of perception of time, right? So outside, this might be in their perception of time. Basically, it elapses over like say 3 or 4 hours, but inside the game, it's a full lifetime of like 80 years. I don't know. I mean, what is time? It's just a perception, and that's how we perceive it. Is on this scale.
There he goes, cracking.
That's how you know it's me.
Oh. Anyway, yeah,
You could look at your book all.
I could look at my book all night, but it's not gonna be very entertaining on the mic. So.
If we had video of this, it could be. Well, but then, fact checker, here you go. Look at this. Get a picture of it. Check this stuff out. But this is green room. There really shouldn't be. This is like Vegas, right? What happens in the green room stays in the green room outside of what's recorded on the mic.
So I feel like
I'm just saying.
That's going to be a bit, right?
I think it already is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead, check that out. Episode 1.
No good news is good
Push
news.
that button.
Yeah, push that button. Well, not right now, because right now.
No. Wait until we're done, and then push that button. Or put us on pause and then open up another window and then push that button.
Well, you know what? Do whatever you want to do.
That's true,
honestly,
too. I know, right? Who are we to judge?
Do whatever makes you happy.
What makes you happy? Sorry.
Within reason. As long as it doesn't pick someone else's pocket or... Well,
You know what I've been hearing lately that I'm really starting to agree with?
Hmm.
Make sure it's about others, not about you. Period. Just make sure it's about others and not about you. And I'm paraphrasing.
Maybe about others first.
Well,
Yeah,
always put others first. Don't worry about yourself. Right? That's kind of, I think to me that's like have faith that you're going to be taken care of. So go ahead and take your all your energy that you can and just make sure you're taking care of others. Even if it doesn't come back, pay it forward. You'll
especially if it doesn't come back. Yeah.
Well, because at that point you'll just again, as you transcend, as you take on trying to be this better person, there will be more responsibility. There will be more things to think about, to deal with, to work with, to consider, to be a part of you. You're going to have to be open, aware, logical, rational, patient, calm, understand, do all of the. It gets harder, which in all honesty should make it somewhat easier because it's no longer work. It's now your passion.
And those things are viewed in a different light. It's not like coming from a negative place. It's like I like to say to my kids, if it's worth having, it's worth working for. It's
all right.
Like if you're gonna try and do something that is difficult, you got to expect that you're gonna fall on your face a couple times.
Yeah, not terrible.
and not only that, but look at it as a learning experience.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
What's the every time I figure out what it's not, I'm one step closer to what it is. So right, so you kind of have to fall on your face, otherwise you're not gonna. If all you do is win, how are you gonna learn anything?
Well, I mean, show me one person that's learned how to roller skate or ride a bike that hasn't at one point skinned a knee or dropped a shoulder or an elbow or scratched the heck out of their wrist or hand.
If they didn't, they weren't trying hard
enough.
Right?
Just kind of doing like little tight circles.
Like, skirt. No. You got to get all up in there.
Like Fisher Price, like my first.
Yeah, Fisher Price, my first Timberlands. Whoa. Yeah, that's. Some people get our references, some don't. This is, I look forward to being able to read like comments on this. Where people at minute 3, 17 seconds, Wu-Tang. Oh, at minute 3 and 17, Hammer Time. Yeah, dude, I want to see all that stuff because there's
Kool-Aid.
Dude, there's movie quotes, there's commercial quotes, dude. There's like us quoting each other. Dude, there's really personal, heartfelt, good. And I do mean good, like literal good expressions. Like you've pulled up, yeah. So yeah, you earlier you had me. You want me to listen to Alan Watts, quoting Carl Jung, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, stuff like that, and I do that.
And it was interesting just for the fact that it was written by Carl Jung,
right?
Who's speaking from the perspective of somebody who has to handle other people's problems on a daily basis. And looking at it from I have to realize that in order to come correct, in order to help other people, I have to allow them to see my dark side too. And that is part of the acceptance, that it's a two-way street and all this. And he goes into this really deep conversation about how, in a way, having this conversation, this was all lead up to a speech that he was giving to a bunch of clergy members, which makes it even more interesting because in a way they got to deal with the same kind of issues that he has to deal with, if you look at it that way.
Right, they have to deal with everybody coming with hope that they're going to be helped. And
it's another one of those speeches that it's kind of hard for me to put it there's something about it that's that the way that he is with language.
It very much paints the picture of make sure it's about others instead of about yourself. So always make sure you're putting others first instead of thinking about yourself. And actually, you know what? I think that's the owner of Wegmans. What William B. Walter B. Something like that. B. Wegmans. He basically was like, because that's why Wegmans' whole model is. The customer comes first. It's all about the experience in the discussion. Like that's just their, the price is going to be the price because you're paying for the experience. But the people that go there love it because the prices aren't. They're decent, but you're really getting a great experience and a quality that you're willing to pay for, and it's because they put the customer first. It's always think about others instead of yourself. And I think even he's quoted as saying something to that effect. So yeah.
Yeah, they have a pretty strong business model.
Same as Whole Foods. Whole Foods, actually, I was watching this thing. Whole Foods joined with Amazon a while back. Then that's how they kind of grew their business model.
Yeah.
Because they got stuck doing what they were doing, and they're like, we really need to get... Because, the grocery store model, which is what Amazon does, they're making cents on the dollar, but they're doing it, millions of times a day where it makes money. Same thing, Warren Buffett, Coca-Cola. Gets Coca-Cola, he looks at what they're doing and he just goes, you know what? We're selling like 1.8 million 8-ounce bottles a day. Raise it a penny. Every bottle, 1 penny. That's it. 1 penny. They jumped like 271 million in revenue that year. Because didn't change anything. Didn't change the structure, the marketing, the pay scale, nothing. Just added 1 cent to the 8-ounce bottles across the board. Right. Boom. 270 million that year.
Sure.
But that's to me that's kind of that thing. You just intelligence is dope, man. Gotta be educated. But
it's ridiculous to me anyway that you're making all that money off of basically colored sugar water, but
capitalism at work, bro.
Yep.
But yeah, so the Alan Watts and Carl Jung. That's I really enjoy that. It kind of, to me, at least that's what I got from it. Was very much like, put others first.
Well, it was very much in the introspective angle though that it had to do with was the interesting part that I tried isolating for you was. Basically, like if you could imagine the worst of society, realize that is also part of you, and learning how to. And it's like this is deep stuff. This is coming from somebody who psychoanalyzes people on a daily basis.
Yeah,
and he's talking about
he's got to see the worst in them.
Do not ignore your shadow self. Do not ignore your inner demons. Like let them have their word. So it's interesting because that wasn't from that part that I had you listen to, but when you listen to him or read his work, it's what I can understand is just amazing, like the way he comprehends stuff.
Well, and then but from what you're saying, not only the comprehension, but then his articulation thereof. Yeah, which to finish my point, I totally the Whole Foods joining Amazon thing was the grocery store model of like pennies on the dollar. They jumped in going from that whole same thing as Wegmans of like, hey, it's quality first and we're taking care of the customer and everything. The CEO, the owner, was talking about how it was they needed to understand this is the long-term game. So it's like the grocery store model works. We can cut our prices. We are going to lose money in the short term. But the eventual
they won't because they'll end up getting the whole market share.
Well, but a bigger market share because now all of a sudden you're gonna grab a larger audience.
Very large market share, yeah.
Well, but dude, everybody gets a fair share when they do it right. Don't play that bias crap here.
No, I'm just saying.
I see what you're doing. Don't even do it. Anyway, the thing that it is that what comes down to is the fact that now it's who gives a crap about that. Short-term losses because 2 years from now we're going to have an increased customer base that's willing to pay these prices, and that's where the model works. And that's the same thing that Jeff Bezos did. He just kept building Amazon in that same regard where it's the grocery store model, and he just kept, borrowing and trading and, flipping at, like, he did anything and everything he could to continue to grow and building the infrastructure. And I mean, the moves he made, the ideas he did, it was all based off of the same thing, that, hey, sometimes short-term losses are always going to equal long-term gains, and you got to play that game. You got to look at it from the long term. So,
well, I mean, and like you said, they're still making a very, very minuscule profit, that's fine. It's almost a wash, right?
Well,
I mean,
to me, it's the bigger picture. So that's why I come, right.
But the point is that they're pushing a household name.
Well, but right back to the to the Wegmans thing, and it's because they're doing what's best. We're thinking of others. So it's the fact that, hey, we still got to pay our we got to pay our people the right money, and we got to take care of them. We got to do all this stuff, but we also got to take care of the customer, right? And so we don't mind taking that loss. We're going to put others first before ourselves. So they're willing to take those short-term losses because they know in the eventual, business-wise, it should. There's no guarantees, but it should pay off, and it has. But, so that's why I'm like, Wegmans, Whole Foods, any of those guys, all the same thing. They're putting others first. To me, that's that, Well, and that's what I got from the, the segment that you sent me is you have to put others first. Whether he's saying, put yourself into somebody else's shoes to give yourself that perspective. But I believe the point of what it was is basically like, hey, realize that don't matter. I think you said it before, like you were talking about with your discussion with your elder, was no matter how bad you think you got it, somebody's got it worse.
Absolutely.
So don't sit there and play your little pity
party. And that's
party.
something my dad always used to say. He was like, don't forget, that's as bad as you think it is right now, somebody's got it worse.
Always.
Yeah. How are we doing? What?
What?
What? Hey, what?
Stay focused.
What?
Wait, no,
you started.
You started it.
What? We're not playing that game.
Stinks like sex in here. I can't wait for someone to actually get that correct in the comments. I'm telling you, it's happening. That's a thing. That's literally going to be a thing. People are going to look for our freaking Easter eggs that we don't even intend to put in there. They're just going to happen. I don't think the Scotch. Go ahead. Scotch. Scotch.
Irv.
I was even 220, 221, whatever it takes. This is why I really do enjoy the green room, because we can be somewhat serious, but it is very much just total levity, all the funnies, get the sillies out.
Like I could just make, they just put this in here. I just make a stupid reference and immediately we get it.
Well, yeah, you and I do, but the people at home right now are probably just like, wait, did that just happen again?
Oh
wait,
God,
son of a bitch.
You know how much this thing costs to make?
Like $5. Oh, all right, that was 3 in a row. If you can't figure it out from those 3, you got problems, or you don't know movies. Anyway, I do love the green room because it does give us a chance to get the sillies out.
Anytime, and you keep talking about this, so
What's that?
You gotta just come out with it, even though it doesn't really sound appropriate. Do you realize it's snowing in my room?
Oh Jesus! It in fact is not snowing in my room. I can't even write that.
So I'm gonna take another. While you're really, you okay there, old man?
This is not my office.
This isn't what.
Damn right, it's not your office. No, you can't just jump from an. Oh, see, it negates. When you do that, it negates the douchebaggery. I'm trying to come back around again with a double up, and there's no echo. If you do swap straight over, there's not even a segue. That's like a train wreck.
All right, I'm sorry.
I don't need you to be. Wait, hold on. Can I parlay?
No.
I'm about to have a one-sided conversation. Well, I guess that doesn't count in the green room.
Let me just walk out.
I think the manifesto is only for I'm telling you, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure how that. Well,
yeah, no, because I think you said it was in the context of the show I'm telling you, so you made it specific to that.
Well, I still need to rewrite it too. I did mention that.
Well, what, with my collaboratory component, I conjugate. What's up?
This is my collaboratory.
I conjugated correctly. I read.
You would.
I'm read, learned.
Educated.
I'm learnt.
I'm a college gadget. Gadget.
I have two.
Two credits short.
I have 2 pieces of paper. Well, from universities, anyways. Well, college and a university.
Paper.
Well, I have certificates too. And then I have things that are laminated. That's how you know they're real.
Of course.
It's laminated. It checks out.
Anyhow, what do we have to move forward with tonight? So I want to think about something. I really like the question thing, but I don't know if maybe we should in the break think about.
Well, I mean, we always get what's on that. You know, it's whatever we get to. I'm now remembering from looking at your book. You had drawn the water tower. That goes back to our water tower.
Oh yeah,
conversation.
you want to see it?
Well, I already did see it, but yeah, I'll look at it again because I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, there was.
No, not this one. This one.
He has so many books.
I got too many books.
Nerd alert, dude. How many pairs of glasses do you wear?
Yeah,
McFly. I'm gonna start poking you in the face. All right, he actually gave me his book to look in. I'm looking in his book. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm looking for the water tower. He literally, dude. This is very like Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, like Albert Einstein kind of stuff. Where I mean, it's just, dude. There's some Da Vinci kind of shit going on here, bro. All right, here he is. Dude, I knew it. All right. So the conversation was, because I remember, because I was like, dude, I know the equation, and I knew it was simple. I'm like, half the radius, dude, it's pi r squared.
Yeah, pi r squared.
Yeah, equals c, circumference. And he's got a circle with the line to denote what, or to note what
the radius. Yeah.
Yeah, to note the radius, and then the equation written next to it, pi r squared equals c. Underneath the water tower with the bands and the statement of, for the calculations of, he's got like, dude, there's parentheses that he's using to section off. Oh, this is some serious shit. You take some dope notes, bro. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be dope with you. You take some dope notes.
Yeah, and then I continue to write on the side, like after.
Well, but sometimes when you like get on the page like that, you got to go into the margins. Man. Dude, this is all right. Hold on, wait. Front of the book. This is like leather bound. Oh, this is actually This feels literally embossed, like burnt into. Albert Einstein quote: "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Oh yeah, imagination is more important than knowledge. Do you have to? I think, and you know what? All right, so Albert Einstein. The light train idea, right? This is one of the episodes I'm listening to right now. Because we're nerds. We re-listen to ourselves. We take notes. That's what we do. Albert Einstein, light train idea about if you have a candle in the front, doesn't matter how bright it is. It can be like the brightest candle in the world. 1,000 candle watt or candle power.
Yeah, not an actual candle, because I think it would blow out if you're in the recesses of space. This.
If time is allowable, the candle wouldn't even exist. I'm sorry. I know, philosophy. We're going to do it. Anyways, but yeah, so Albert Einstein with the idea of the light train. If you can imagine, that's, imagination is better than knowledge. You can sit there and theorize. You can do case studies. You can do the math. You can play all the numbers out.
No, but just to imagine.
But if you imagine, because that's how we came up with the theory of relativity. Like we were talking about, he picked it up out of the ether. Same as like Tesla. They're like, I don't know where I got it. It was just it was just there, and somebody gave it to me, kind of a thing.
I'm still trying to make sense of it myself.
Right.
I mean, because really, that's what it was.
Pretty much. That's why I feel like the statement is more of E equals MC squared is his representation of how it works.
Well, I mean, he came back and rewrote it. How many years later?
Yeah, it's because it's not even so much an equation as like just an equation reference of a thought process kind of a thing, where it's just like, this is an idea here. There he goes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he discovered later on that was considered the general theory of relativity.
Basically, yeah.
And then he came back and he really expanded upon it.
It's the perception of how light or energy or things can work from itself being a single component that expresses itself outwards in all regions at the same rate. And so I mean, it's the way it is expressing energy into a 3-dimensional expression of four dimensions. So it's taking the 2-dimensional idea, giving it its 3rd dimension of depth, and then allowing for time. That's what relativity or perception would be. So E equals MC squared is supposed to be a representation of how that 3-dimensional component can be become 4th-dimensional seen or understood. Perception. But you have to be able to imagine that, and that's how he uses the light train idea.
I mean, a lot of people have tried convincing me that relativity means all sorts of different things, but
well, but again, Einstein said it himself. This is me, like you said. I'm trying to make sense of it myself. That's just his expression of his perception of what that idea is. It's his imagination. It's not knowledge. Even though it kind of is, because it's like it came out of the ether, like it was just this knowledge of like stardust, cosmos stuff. But
it's how he put it together, though. It's how he, how he imagined it, and how, those two things are completely separate. When you imagine something and then you try to go ahead and put it into words, it gets really sloppy. I mean, it's not necessarily a
as well as like
fit,
yeah, right, because as well, like imagination is made up and knowledge is fact. So knowledge is real. Imagination is you have a friend that nobody can see. That's
well, it's like the picture. The picture says 1,000 words. Like that whole thing. Like I could sit here and describe an image to you, and I could spend all night talking about an image, or I could just show you the image.
Right.
So it's like when you're talking about. You're talking about a creation that was adopted within the confines of your mind and was formulated there. That thing, when you try to then bring it out and say, look, this is what it looks like. I mean, that's trying to take that information, like you said, it's called to synthesize, to take information and basically be able to recreate it in your own words.
Correct. Yeah, that's the college term, synthesis.
Synthesis.
Yeah, yes. But
to
to
synthesize.
Yeah. Yeah, they always express it because they, it's the difference of
conjugating.
Yeah, all right. Conjugation. Which you do. I love this, right? I'm gonna be dope with you. Conjugate.
You're gonna make me choke on my.
Oh, you gonna be dope with me too? Hey-o. Conjugate in Spanish is expressed as conjugar, which, if you segment, con means with, jugar is to play. Conjugar means to play with. To conjugate, you're playing with the word. And being of a Latin expression, like from root, to me, I've always enjoyed that, because it's like, that's what it means, to conjugate, to play with. Semantics. You get to take the roots, the prefix, the prefix and the suffix, and I'm trying to put the two together. That's all, folks. But you take the prefix and the suffix and the roots, and you get to play around, which is why I love words so much, and playing like Scrabble and stuff like that, and like Words with Friends and things, because I can play with those, and I don't even know what the word is half the time, but sure as heck can spell the crap out of it because I have that and I enjoy it. That's why I do. Yeah, but that's probably one of my favorite Spanish. Conjugar is to play with, because it's literal, which I love about like Latin and Greek and stuff. But dude, it's literal. It's honest in its expression. It's dope with you is what it is. I love it.
Yeah, it's different than the English language, that you can really pin it down to any one thing, because we borrowed so much from other languages too. So it's
knowing us, we probably stole it. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Like we look
Did I
at
say
other,
that I like?
but I mean we look at other languages and we say it's funny. It's funny how things seem like they're out of order, but other countries probably look at us and say it's weird how you guys say everything's so linear.
Well, but
You know,
that's the thing about English is we're literally backwards from everybody else. Like we are backwards from everybody else. Not only are we backwards, but we also. This goes back to the dictionary statement where we've erased definitions because we've replaced words with words that mean other words. The English language has the most amount of words out of every language in the entire known consistency. That's a trivia question. What is the only language in the known mankind that has the most amount of words? English. The English language. And it continues to grow. It's how preposterous English people are. It's all of us. Americans, rappers, all get. We just keep creating more stuff.
We don't speak English.
We speak American.
We speak American.
Yeah, American.
American.
American. That's what I speak. American. What you speak? I speak American. All right. See, but I don't even speak American, dude. I speak like Spanglish, right? With like actual English on top because I attempt to be articulate in my speech and my expressions. Sometimes I go for the literal. Right, and that's why sometimes you hear like, it's How I Met Your Mother. He's always like the Renaissance Fair. Dude, yeah, I know. Sometimes people want to punch me in the face because of how I pronounce stuff, but still, I'm like ghetto as can be, but also like pinky out, articulate. Dude, I'm a walking enigma. I get it. I'm working on it, people. It's a work in progress. It takes a lot of responsibility to get to where I'm at, and I'm working on more. Stay with me. Help. I need it.
I'm thinking of the word Roosevelt.
Why? I don't know. Why is that?
Well, somebody I know and love likes to say
Roosevelt.
It cracks me up
Yeah, but there's
every
also
time.
like water and wooder.
I mean, I understand why you'd say that because the way it looks like it should be Roosevelt, but I don't know that I've ever really heard anybody say it that way. Just.
But that's like there's there, and there's. And there's pair and pair. Dude, there's so I sat down with my younger and we went over this a bunch of times and we started there's a bunch of them. There's a ton of words out there where there's like 3 to 4 spellings per.
Do you remember the Gallagher thing? The Gallagher thing was like, why do you drive on the parkway and park on the driveway? Why do you, like,
right?
like, why in the word one isn't there a wah-wah?
Yeah, dude, there's English. I say this so many times. English has the most amount of exceptions to the rules that have exceptions to the exceptions to the rules, and that never seem to apply.
We make rules just to break them, I guess.
Pretty much, and then we make like words to like rearrange them and like redefine them and then create more. Dude, I don't know.
American.
I don't get it. I don't get it. We can't leave well enough alone. We got to keep creating, make bigger and better, and dude. But if it keeps making things better, I'm all for it. But if it continues to stifle,
how do you say croissant in French?
Crescent. Can I get one of them crescents with the chocolate on it? Dude, I'll be done with you. That's probably why most people That's probably why most people don't like Americans. One, we're very close-minded, but two, like when we go somewhere, we usually don't learn enough of the language to at least
just
like
butcher everything.
Dude, you butcher it? No, dude. It's like total melee in the streets, dude. Curb stomping, you like. Closed casket burial, you just destroy. We like annihilate. It's horrible.
Well, bon appetit to you too.
Oh, I know. It was a grassy ass, dude. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
Grassy ass.
Dude, I know. Que pasa, hombre? No, no. Just, it's so sad right now, dude. Sorry, I'm not gonna rat my kid out. I love her too much. The thought just popped in my head. Size K, I tell you what. Unfortunately, I do have a white kid. I do. It happens when the Spanish comes out. She's getting better. She's getting so much better. I mean, she at least speaks it. She's doing pretty well with it. You know what I mean? Because, dude, so I'll be dope with you. Like, in California, you'll get generation after generation. All of a sudden, the kids pretty much won't speak Spanish. They only speak English. And it's like, what the F? Because for the most part, like me growing up, all the kids that I knew, they either pretty much only spoke, whether it was Guatemalan or Honduras or like Mexican or, whatever the dialect that was specific to their origin. So they're speaking Spanish, and that's pretty much it. Some of them started speaking English, so,
if you want to know what's going on.
And coming from Spain, so like, dude, the first several years of my life, it's like, dude, all I ever had was, either like super appropriate Spanish, like, Spain Spanish, like the motherland Spanish, or like super street ghetto broken, like Honduran, Guatemalan, Mexican. Dude, it was Spanglish as art, because that's what we all had to speak so that we could talk, because we had so many different words flying around, dude. But I love that. I love that. But I don't even know where I was going with it, but that was a beautiful thing.
I don't know, I'm just like waiting for you to jump into some kind of tirade in Spanish.
No, dude, probably not. Not right now. I haven't had any tequila yet. Well, but yeah, so yeah.
I'm thinking, what's the character in Friday? Smokey in Friday? When he goes off on the...
Well, but and so to me, so that's the thing is like, so you could have all the English, you could have whatever language you want, but the when we start to lose our history from it, you know what I mean? That's why it's like, dude, even the
speaking strictly English.
Yeah, the Hispanic Americans, is whatever, because that's what they would be. Because whether they be like Guatemalan Americans or Honduran Americans or Peruvian Americans, or whether they want to just be American, however they wish to signify. But yeah, dude, like to lose that, like that's a horrible thing. But it's happening. That's that's why I was like, even for me, because like the way I was raised, like, dude, my kid should have like the thickest accent. No, because that's not where she grew up. Like, we're out here, we're on the East Coast, so that's you can.
Yeah, you live in Cali. It's a different story.
I do,
because it's everywhere. But I mean,
my programming is still
it's around here almost as much if you know where to look too. I mean.
Dude, like, we honestly at this point we should be. This should be a bilingual at minimum country. I mean, look at Canada, right? English and French. Hell, they probably have more English and French and Spanish up there than we have English and Spanish here. Right? And then you go just below us, Mexico. They're probably English and Spanish too. Right, Mexican Spanish, but still, so it's like Spanish and English. So most of their people are going to be bilingual, because learning English it behooves you on many levels to at least have a basic understanding, right?
Especially being close neighbors. Yeah.
Well, just in general, I mean, most countries are like this. They teach you your language because you know that, and then English, because English
the
is
only
like
country that doesn't do that.
And again, we are not properly educating our children. You know what I mean? Like, that's a thing.
Well, the question is, what language would it be, though? If there was a required second... Now, I know...
Spanish, easily.
Living within the country, it would be Spanish.
But now, so
technically speaking, it should be Mandarin if you're talking worldwide.
Well, and that's... I mean, that's another discussion, honestly.
I mean, right?
Correct. But I would do it on the fact of, like you said, neighbor-wise. So I would say... we would go English primary, Spanish secondary, French as a third, and then
neighbors, yeah.
And I would do it based on that because you should know your neighbors the best. I mean, you really need to have a strong community before you're going to go abroad on any sense, right? At least I think so. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I would go English, Spanish, French, and then me personally, I want to go straight to like Mandarin and Japanese because I love Asia. I really do. Growing up with like lowrider culture, the only other thing that's cooler than doing lowriders is Japanese lowriders. It's like, oh, you East Coast? I fall East Coast, right? Yeah, somebody catch that reference. But that's, so, I love lowriders, but even further, like, I love Japanese lowriders too. Like, dude, because the thing I love about Japanese lowriders, and I've seen this in several different documentaries, when they ask them, why would you do this or that or whatever else, the relative response is always like, because it's cool. Like, that's what, in Japan, it's just like, dude, if you're going to do it, do it. Like, dude, I don't care if you're 80 years old and you're an RC, like, car drifter, like, you just sitting around racing RC cars drifting on a track all day. Dude, this is a thing. Look it up. This is not a joke. If you're an 80-year-old man doing it and you're just out there crushing it, you get mad love and respect. They can care less that you're 80. If anything, they give you even more love because you're 80 and you're just rocking it. That's dope, right? That's why I love, like, Asian culture, because, dude, if you're going to do it, just do it. That's what they're about. We as the Westerners, they say, is like, we look at it, it's like, oh, they're so strict. Oh, and they're so mean and stressful. It is to a certain degree, but as I was saying before, dude, when you step up, man, you don't get less work, you get more work. You get more responsibility.
Yeah, you challenge yourself. I mean,
again and again and again.
You wouldn't be happy with it if it wasn't.
And that's that thing, is if you're out there killing it every day, if you're out there just crushing it, even as an 80-year-old dude, RC drift racing, who gives a shit? Do it. Yeah, that's why I like, dude. I love lowriders, but I also love Japanese because it's just they're just like, because it's cool.
And the
I'm
people
just gonna do it. I'm gonna own it.
The people that really get that, it's even more than like the competitive spirit. Like the people that really get into it, it's almost like even if they get a win. You ever seen that? Even when somebody gets a win, they're still down on themselves because of all the errors they thought they made along the way. Because they're constantly trying to make corrections to the way that they want to be perfect. And it's like, yeah, they got a win on the course, but in their mind, it's like, well, I messed up every time I hit the third corner, or.
And I want to agree and disagree. So I wouldn't say that they're being hypercritical of like, oh, I messed up here and I messed up here. It's more of, if I'm going to do it, like, I want to be the best. So they're going to be until they get to that place where they're like, they just own it and they're in the flow.
Like, yeah, I won this one, but if I race like that next week, I'm gone. I'm toast. That's what you're always thinking of. You're critiquing yourself over and over again. That's why I say it can be stressful, but again, as you step up in the levels, the responsibility does not go down. I don't know. I think. Well, I was just motioning across the way here to my compadre.
That sounds like somebody wants to take a break.
That maybe we should take a little break, get something to eat. I mean, you guys don't have to take a break. You're just going to reach over and
push the button. That's what Jay said.
So. But get our head around like where we want to move forward for the rest of the.
I want to talk about lowriders.
Is that going to be a subject tonight? Because I really, you'll be talking like the whole time, and I'll just be nodding. Which is fine. But
So I was gay. You know what? So if we talk about lowriders, not too many of you will understand. No, La Bomba. Sorry. There's not enough tequila. We're good. The next segment will be in mostly English. There might be some Spanish. Yeah. No, but yeah, I do. I think English, Spanish, French. Even though I speak Spanglish, and I love it. I don't care. I
could agree with Spanish. If you were going to make any of them mandatory, that it should be Spanish, probably, for our country. So, but yeah,
not even mandatory, but yeah.
No, I'm saying if
maybe educate. We should talk about.
If the choice was to make another language mandatory in the educational system, then I could see. And Spanish.
That's one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should take a break. And we're gonna talk about education next. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Do we have enough time? Do you have enough time? Well, I mean, you can pause this. We can't.
We can't do that.
I mean, we can take we can do part 1 and part 2. So we can take breaks and stuff. But I don't know. All right. Either way, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna see you guys. I'm telling you, episode 8.
Episode 8.
Whoa.
8 is great.
8 is great. You're great.
All right. Baba Ganoush.
Mr. Gemini. All right. Later, guys.